I want to welcome everyone to this conversation about jobs and the future of our country, and in particular, the future for young folks and young urban folks and folks of color, and what we can do as a community to organize, engage, and hold our elected leaders accountable for the work ahead. My name is Rashad Robinson, and I'm the Executive Director of Color of Change. Color of Change is the largest online Black political organization. We work every day to hold folks accountable for how they're serving our communities through a mixture of online and offline campaigns that engages people all around the country, primarily Black folks and their allies, to speak out about the issues that are important to them. Dement said, sort of in the midst of a job crisis that is impacting young people, that's impacting Black and Latino Americans at a sort of a disproportionate rate than the rest of the country. Dement said, I have talked to a lot of businesses in South Carolina who can't get employees to come back to work because they are getting unemployment and they're getting food stamps. And they call me, they say, call me when the unemployment runs out. This is a part of the ongoing distraction that's happening in Washington from the real crisis at hand. So, for us, this is not a political conversation around parties, but a conversation around how do we educate the American people about what's really at stake. What's really at stake in terms of ensuring that people are able to get back to work. I do think that there's a lot we can do in terms of policy solutions, but I do think that if we are looking to Washington alone, if we're looking to Washington insiders alone, that's, I think, where our mistake is going to be. And that's, I think, the power of organizations like Color of Change or power of organizations like the League of Young Voters, that we need to come up with these solutions, from the grassroots and engage and hold our political leaders accountable for sort of pushing forward solutions that are going to be helpful. If the American Jobs Bill is supposed to create a lot of jobs, why did President Obama wait to 2011 to push it? It's a great question, and I'm certain that will be a question that will come up during the upcoming presidential campaign. The jobs bill, I think a lot of folks were hoping for this probably when President Obama got elected. I think that a lot of people have been suffering through this economy. I'm not in the president's head. I'm not in the administration's head. I think what we can do now, though, is look towards the future, right? And think about how are we going to hold elected leaders accountable for doing all they can and rising above partisan politics to ensure that we do push forward real solutions around jobs. And that the impact of unemployment on young Americans is going to have impact for years to come. Folks are coming out of schools as an earlier person who asked the earlier question said, folks are coming out of school with huge debts, debts that we have not seen for generations in terms of what they owe back. The cost of education has increasingly gone up, and the cost to be able to sort of be competitive in today's economy has gone up. And as the cost to be competitive in today's economy has gone up, more and more people have been cut out of the process. And so I do think that there will be a huge impact on young Americans in terms of what jobs are out there as more and more companies are shipping jobs overseas, ensuring that we have access to employment and to jobs, and to ensure that as companies begin to hire, that they're doing it in ways that are not sort of continuing to elevate the disparities that already exist. And so part of what this job bill will hopefully do is provide opportunities for people to have resources through work where they're able to go and spend money places. Is this the end-all and be-all solution? No. I think that we also need really direct policies that are going to be aimed at young people and aimed at young folks of color in particular to deal with the crises that are happening in our urban communities where folks simply are not having opportunities for employment, and it's impacting a broad range of social issues. I do think that we've got to get behind pushing this job bill. I think it's a step. I think that we could and we should agitate more.